Alright, yo, hold on. Shit, I'm gonna fucking. Let me check something. How do I check? Okay. Whatever. Alright, so for people that, watch this or whatever, man, I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on Gran Turismo 7. What system you play it on, stuff like that, and what cars you wish were in the game or you wish were added to the game. Because, I mean, I know I can think of a few, that should have been added, man. Aerial for one, so definitely like the aerial atom. I mean, it's in Forza. I don't get why Polyphony hasn't put it in Gran Turismo. It's beyond me, unless the developers of Forza have the license for it or something like that. But at the same time, it's been in other racing games, so I don't know why you wouldn't put, a absolute track monster in a simulation, like racing game that has tracks. That's just my opinion. You're like the Lexus IS 300 and the Toyota Altezza. I mean, same car. It can be argued, the Altezza obviously being a little bit more of the sportier version, and I believe only sold in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I'm pretty sure if I am, someone will correct me. But the fact that this game doesn't have an Eclipse in it, from Mitsubishi, I mean, it's a huge line of Evos and stuff like that. But like, yo, where is the Eclipse? There's like, it's kind of mind-boggling in my opinion. But And honestly, I would like to see more trucks. You know, they put in these weird, vehicles. Like we got minivans. There's going to be like a miniature, like I don't know what the heck kind of truck you would call it, but the one that's coming in the next update. But like I want trucks, yo. Like give me the Ford Lightning, give me the Chevy S10, like Extreme or whatever like that. Chevy Silverado. I mean, yes, it's a track racing game, but like the Ford Lightning, the S10, stuff like that. I feel like it should be in here, yo. Like give us like some of the older Dodge Rams or the SRT, Ram or whatever. I mean, it's plenty of cars that they could add. I believe Lotus, like, I mean, should be in the game, and there's manufacturers missing, that have been in other, Gran Turismos and stuff like that as well that I feel like they should bring back. I can't remember the names of them, but I've seen other videos on them. Like there should like as a couple of Kias in here, y'all. I mean, fairly popular car. The Kia Soul. I mean, I actually have one and drive one in real life. I mean, so that would be pretty cool. The Kia Stinger. I mean, would be another one. But maybe that's just me being biased, yo. I mean, it's like, and then all these like newer, like racing games. I don't understand why we cannot customize anything in the interior. I've talked about this numerous times and I've brought it up, but Car X, that was a game that, I was kind of, had a decent following on my channel, talked about it, used to play it. Stuff like that has interior customization where, you can change the seats, you can change out the steering wheels, the shift knobs, etc. I mean, obviously, yes, they're real cars. It's probably going to cost more, like for licensed vehicles to be able to do stuff like this. I mean, but like simple stuff, man, like the gauge clusters, maybe changing the backgrounds of those, simple steering wheels, stuff like that in the interior. I mean, would just, add a little bit more to the game. I mean, it can't be but so hard, to like swap stuff out, like that, like something simple, it's like it's a steering wheel. So that tune, man, that I looked up for, like how to make cars more stable, actually does seem to work. Um, for the most part, sometimes, the cars can be a little bit sensitive, especially on the braking, but it definitely works. Yeah, so basically what I'm just doing is I'm, going to be going through cars, tuning them and seeing how they handle certain portions. All right, that's good. At least I know the microphone works pretty decent on the PlayStation 5 controller. A little too lazy to be trying to put on my headset today. Well, I'm gonna be cooking here shortly, or well, maybe about 6:30 or so. I don't know. Yeah, kind of was a little bit irritated today because had a chance to go play paintball, but earlier in the month I made a decision not to go today because I thought it was gonna be warmer. Didn't know if I was gonna have the money or whatever like that. So yeah, it is what it is. It's kind of been a laid back, boring day, man. I hate being inside on a beautiful day, man. It's just, like I was so irritated with myself, like, and then I was about to go do, like, got asked, by my dad or whatever, like, if he wanted to go hiking. This car is absolute garbage. Jesus Christ. If I wanted to go do some hiking, and I was actually like, yeah, just I don't know. I was feeling out of it. All right, maybe damn that spun out just from like flipping that AI vehicle thing. Like I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, she's a little understeer, or oversteer, I should say. I notice that's the problem with Porsches, man, especially on this game. The ass end definitely wants to whip around on you pretty quickly. So yeah. On another note, I've been trying to decide like what other kind of paintball marker I want to try and get here in the next month or so because or I want to start trying to get one, at least one marker a year, maybe two. I don't know. I mean, depending on finances and like what comes up, what I'm able to get or whatnot like that. You know, unfortunately, there was one that I did want, had wanted pretty bad, but opportunity got taken from me, and it kind of is what it is. I had seen another marker, man, by San Diego Dynasty that was for sale. It was a Geo 3, man. Nice, super clean. had the Year of the Dragon design on it, and the case was autographed by 2012 San Diego Dynasty, but unfortunately someone bought it before I could get the money for it. But yeah, kind of sucks, like not getting the opportunity, to own something rare. But yeah, we'll see what happens within the next month or so, man. Like what comes up or whatnot, man. There's a few that I got my eyes on that hopefully, either don't sell or I'm able to get, like once, finances are looking a little bit more better. But man, I could definitely, like tell the difference between playing this on PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, man. Like the cars are a tad bit more sensitive, that's for sure. The graphics, obviously, better. Um, I'm not gonna say not a huge difference, but definitely, you could definitely tell, man. I mean, I'm glad to have finally been able to upgrade from a PS4 to the 5. My PS4 was starting to act up and act stupid every time I was in chat. It would like drive me out of chat for some reason, and it would normally do it maybe like once, and then once I reconnected, I was good. Sometimes it would drive me out more than once, but definitely enjoying the PS5, man. Was able to give me a PS5 Slim digital version. Got a nice little stand for it that charges two controllers. It has fans on it, and it tells me how hot my system is running. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so with the Porsches, man, you definitely have to be extremely light on the throttle coming out of a corner, because if you know go full throttle, man, she will probably more than likely loop around. Yeah, the reason why I was streaming the other night and wasn't talking much, is kind of got family member, staying with us right now. He's kind of in was in a bad, I ain't gonna say bad situation, but kind of like a bad situation. So staying with us until he can get his own apartment, which hopefully isn't much longer. But got him kind of crashing in my room and whatnot. You know, and man, he's when I say he snores, like he snores. Haven't been getting a whole lot of sleep. But it's family, so always, try to help out family members and anybody that I can, But I'm gonna say this, man, if you do me wrong, more than one time, or say something about my family or something like that, then yeah, I'm gonna cut you up. I'm gonna part ways with you, man. Like no questions asked, man. I mean, I'm getting to the point in life where it makes no sense to deal with people like that. If they cause me stress or something like that, man, it's like, yo, like, like you got to go, like that's plain and simple. And I mean, it kind of sucks. I mean, a few months ago or a couple months ago, kind of had my Instagram and my Facebook disabled like last month or month before last or whatever like that. I'm pretty sure I know the reason behind it and who was the reason behind it, but I ain't gonna point no fingers. I ain't gonna say no names. It is what it is. And over 4 minutes on this course, yo. Like I feel like that's kind of a slow lap, man. And I guess for like street legal vehicles, man, like anything under like a 4:15 for this course is like okay. 4:10, decent. Anything, like 4:05 or less, like that, that's quick. Actually, looking forward to dinner tonight. I'm making a dish of mine, almost kind of like a homemade hamburger helper, I guess you could say. It's basically I take and I make some rice, ground up some hamburger, with some cut up onions, season the hamburger, and then basically mix it together with some brown gravy, yo. It's really good. And then I do the same thing with chicken. Like make some rice, cook up some chicken. Necessarily not onion. You can add onion in it if you want to, and then mix that in rice with some turkey gravy, and it's pretty good too. I did that 1 year because we didn't have a turkey for Thanksgiving, and I was like, yo, we got gravy, we got rice. A bird is a bird. I mean, so I made that up, man. Family liked it. It's crazy that you can come up with your best meals, or favorite meals, like when you ain't got something, just throw random food together. And it's crazy, because dude I was friends with, I'm sitting here, and showing them all these meals, that I came up with and stuff like that, and was cooking for him, and he was asking, man, he was like, how do you come up, with like all these different meals, man, because they good, and he loved them, man, like he would tear them up, and whatnot, and I'm like, like, yo, man, like when you've been through the struggle and you ain't got much, you just throw together what you have, and sometimes, it comes out good, and sometimes it don't, like, I mean, that's, thankfully, things have been slowly starting to look up, man, and hopefully they do. I mean, continue to keep looking up, but it's crazy because, you can look at how you live even when you're struggling, and be like, man, I wish I had it better, but there's always someone who's worse off than you are. And that's how I look at it. It's just like, man, I just hope, that my health stays, decent enough, to play paintball, for a decent amount of, more years or whatever like that. But, if I'm able to go on a weekend or something like that, and get 4 or 5 games in, I'm happy, you know. So I might can squeeze one or two more races in for now. Probably be one more race before I go in here and start prepping for dinner. And then I might get back on and stream a little bit later. And this is something that I tend to do on this game. I don't know why, man. Like I'll get cars and then I'll just pick a certain brand and then I'll go with that brand for a while, or go through that entire car company or whatnot. Let's add a little bit more downforce on that rear wing right there because I felt like that's something that the last Porsche was missing. But all right. I know one thing. I wish that I was able to keep up with these paintball games that they've been working on and it's been under developer. There's one's called Paintballers, like Major League Pro Paintball, and then another one's called Infinite Tournament Paintball. And right now, unfortunately, both are currently on PC. Damn. Kind of wish I had one of those so I could play them, but I just have to wait for console release. And it's crazy to think of, like we haven't had a since the PlayStation 3. As far as console, it's ridiculous. Showing like the last great one was Craig Hastings too. I mean, obviously the best one being Craig Hastings Tournament Paintball Max, but he was supposed to be working and developing another console game, and instead, like they was working on a mobile game, which in my opinion they half-assed, like extremely half-assed. Like it had decent markers and stuff like that, but that was about it. It wasn't nowhere near as good as the original mobile one, and then just out of nowhere, boom, both games disappeared off the mobile app. So, or off of mobile. So, I don't know what happened with that. Like as far as being a paintball or something like that, man. Like dude lost my respect, man. Like he dropped the ball hugely on that. Like I mean, because I don't know if there was a Kickstarter or what, but like apparently, from what I heard, he wasn't paying the devs that was working on the game, or they didn't get paid, so they kind of parted ways. But it's sad because he had two of the best paintball games that were ever made for console. And then to hype your fans up, or whatever like that, saying you're coming out with a third one, you're working on a third one, to just up and scrap it. I mean, that's kind of shit. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, that's a shit move right there, bro. Kind of like a certain paintball company, that makes loaders and masks or hoppers and masks, suing the people that are making paintballers because apparently the original name sounded too close to their company. Like Virtue, Virtua. I mean, come on, man. That's just being petty, yo. And then you go try to sue them for millions of dollars in damage. Like, no, man. Just that's ignorant, man. If I would have been the judge, like I would have laughed in Virtue's face. Like, honestly, man. Like they wouldn't have been getting no money. They wouldn't have. I'm like, how is this hurting y'all? Because a paintball game sounds like y'all's company. That's not hurting y'all. That's helping y'all. To be honest with you, like you should team up with the people that's making the game and try to grow the sport, and not file a lawsuit against them and hurt the sport, man. Because I feel like, if there was, more paintball video games, more people would be introduced into the sport because there are a lot of gamers. So like if you want to grow the sport, make a fucking game on it. Like plain and simple. Like it's not rocket science, like that's like these car companies. What was it? Subaru and some other company. No, it's Toyota. That for a while didn't want their cars to be in racing games because they was like, oh, they feel like they wouldn't sell their cars, and this, that, and the event. That's a bunch of BS, man. Like, let's be honest, Like, I mean, a lot of the cars that we get, you know, um, introduced to that we like. For me, as a kid growing up, man, half these cars I wouldn't even know existed if it wasn't for video games. And it's like that's the only way I'm gonna ever be able to drive them. I can't afford a Ferrari or a high-end Porsche or like a Nissan Skyline or anything like that in real life. So it's like, but that's how we get exposure to this stuff, man. It's from playing video games. That's like I owned a Chris Vector, man, and like I wouldn't even have known that gun existed if it hadn't been from playing like Battlefield or Call of Duty or something like that. Like I would have never known it existed. So any companies out there listening, if you want exposure, be in a video game, like straight up, man. That's like the best exposure ever. Same thing with skateboarding. Like I mean, I remember back in the day, like the Tony Hawk games was king. And it's like now, like with the remake of like Pro Skater 1 and 2, which was decent, and the remake on 3 and 4, I don't know, I kind of still got mixed feelings on that. I guess we'll have to see how that is once it finally drops. I mean, I'm glad, with the amount of skaters in it, hopefully, they got all the classic OG skaters plus the new ones, that have been added, from 1 and 2, and then the new ones from 3 and 4. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure, Nigel's gonna be in it. I believe they said, was it Yuto or Origami or whatever his name is. Decent skater, Raisa Liel. Hopefully Leticia Buffoni is still in there. My homie Rodney Mullen. Of course, Tony Hawk's gonna be in it. And I believe they did announce that Bam Margera will be in Pro Skater 4, which, like that's pretty dope, man. I mean, I know that guy's been through a lot of controversial stuff, man, but at the end of the day, he belongs in a Tony Hawk game. I don't know about Mike V. Like that'd be pretty cool. Mike Vallely, classic Tony Hawk skater, game skater. So. Now I've seen people saying at the thing they went to where they got the hands on the game or whatever like that and played a career mode, that it was only like 4 levels from Pro Skater 3 and 4 levels from Pro Skater 4, man, which I kind of feel like, if that's all it is, 4 levels and 4 levels, man, like that's going to be kind of a crappy game in my opinion, man, regardless of how big the levels are, like the original 3 and 4, had more levels than that, So I don't get these game companies, knowing what their players want, don't give it to us, if that makes sense, it's like they kind of half-ass it, I think. So, that's like this Call of Duty lately, man. Like I can't get on with it. Like I played Black Ops 6 or whatever it was, for a while, but I don't know, man. Like I wasn't feeling it, man. Like these operator skins and stuff that they're coming out with now, it's too childish. That's why I've always been a Battlefield fan, man. Because like Battlefield is more realistic. The guns look more realistic. Like they ain't got like these crazy absurd skins, or operators or stuff like that. It's like, like they try to base it off realism. Yes, like Battlefield 2042 was futuristic, but still the stuff that they had in that game was more believable than the shit that they put in Call of Duty. Like, oh, I got a glass, bong for a gun, that you can freaking, like take and smoke weed out of. Like, come on, man, get out of here with that shit, man. Like, if you're a pothead, it's great. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, it looks cool, but it's just not my cup of tea. And like the same thing could be said about. Well, I ain't gonna say the same thing could be said about paintball guns, but paintball guns on the market nowadays, man, they all look too similar, man. Like you look at a Lux X, and like you look at the new Planet Eclipse markers, like anything from like the 170, 180R, the GOR4, GOR5, the CS2, the CS3, they are Aura. They are all extremely similar markers. Like, don't get me wrong, man. Like, I like the 170, the 180, the CS3s and the CS2s and stuff like that. That's like the LV series, man. Like, those look similar, Like the shockers, man. Like, all of them, man. I call them cookie cutter markers. Because, like, they all pretty much follow the same design, There's, like, no uniqueness in the paintball guns nowadays, yo. Like I like the older stuff, man. I have a 160R, I have an Ego 11. I also had a Proto Reflex Rail. I have an Evil Armor 2.0, which doesn't work, but just like a variety of markers, like a Tigna 98. The older days, man, like the G6Rs, obviously the Intimidators, the Rippers, the Closers, or Bob Long March, whatever you want to call it. I think one of the newer markers that actually looks different, is the HK Army Recon Ripper, man. It looks pretty dope. Hold on, man. I have to in the race, man, to tell you what Porsche it is, yo. But I know it's the 911. It's one of the 911s. Oh, damn. All that clean racing just to spin out right there, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, I wasn't even paying attention to the little chat box. But yeah, that's the thing with these Porsches, man. Like, you don't pay attention, man. You put one wheel in the grass and you hit a rumble strip wrong. Oh no, you good, man. You good. It whips around on you, man. All right, so yeah, let me see what kind of Porsche this was. Carrera RS. My bad. I said nine. Okay, well, 911 Carrera RS CS. Probably some of the harder cars to drive in Gran Turismo, to be honest. All right, so where was the other ones? Okay, they're right here. Is that it? Hold up, 99395. Which one was I just driving? Carrera RS CS 993. What the fuck is the difference? Oh, it's two different models. So one's a CS, and then one is just a standard RS. Huh. Did I have the other one limited? How does this? Oh, maybe that's engine swapped. Yep. Okay, that's exactly what that is. All right. So we'll try to run this one more race and then go do a few things and then be back on a little bit later this evening. That last Porsche was a handful. Imagine how this is going. I don't know why I like this course so much. It's probably because I ran that 30-minute endurance on this thing so many times. I'm just used to it. Right? I like this course and Norwich Cliff, man. Are probably like my two favorite courses in Gran Turismo. Woo. Hey, you thought you was gonna spin me out? I honestly wish they would bring back Pikes Peak, like a modern like day version, and then like even the old one, like before it got paid, man. Because with Forza Motorsport just dropping Fujimi Kato or Kaito, however you pronounce it, like Gran Turismo needs to step up. Man. Like, eat some mountains to race polyphony. It's sad when like Nordscliff, you know, Germany or Nürburgring, Nordscliff, whatever you want to call it, is like the closest thing they have to a toge in this game. Oh, God, that hurt. I remember I had one car, like, ever since they did the handling update. I forgot what it was. But the way I used to tune them, I went to brake and it literally flipped the car. Like, it did a front flip. I know it was one of the hatchbacks, but I can't remember which one it was. But it was hilarious. Man. Perhaps one of the ugliest hypercars ever made, the Bugatti. This is my opinion. It looks good from the side and the back, yo, but like the front of it, just, I don't know. It's like these newer cars they got, man, like especially the trucks, like it's like every time they come out with a new version or like a different year, like the grills just get bigger and bigger. Wasn't that on a certain course with the minibus, or was it just like? Because I know that one track that they added, like when they updated the suspension or whatever like that, it was a glitch where like you got to a certain part of the course and it would just like fling the vehicles up in the air. I really need to invest in assembly. I don't know where I would put it in my room, but I'll figure something out. I mean, yeah, you know, I can't afford anything extravagant, you know, like some of these other Gran Turismo players, you know, that have like those $2, $3, $4,000, you know, sim rigs that they use. Like mine at most would probably be like $500-600, and I'd have to buy it over time. It really is, man. Like everything is way too expensive, man. Like I'm like, man, I'm, you know, being a gamer, I play paintball, like that's a stupidly expensive hobby. That's why I have slightly older markers, though, because the newer stuff, freaking talking like $1,000 for like a decent like mid engine, not mid engine, but like mid range paintball gun is crazy, man. Like the high end tournament stuff, man, like 1,500 and up. That's just for the gun. So I'm like, man, I'm an old school person anyway. I like the old school stuff better. And I'm like, yo, it still shoots just as good is the newer stuff, and it costs less. My Eagle 11 can shoot 30 balls a second. The newer stuff barely goes, like can only hit 15. That was a sketchy point. I wonder why Gran Turismo doesn't have the aerial item though, man. Like that's a real serious question. Y'all have the Bach Mana, but not the atom. And then that's like they have what, like how many Evos and like no Mitsubishi Eclipse. Yeah, I'm about to stop for a bit after this. Try to be back on, maybe stream a little bit more around 7:30, 8 o'clock. All right, man. Thanks for watching, man. How? That made no sense whatsoever. Like, what? That's a Porsche for you, man. I thought I was driving a Mustang there for a second. Like, man, at least Lamborghini and Ferrari got like mid-engine cars right. Like, they don't whip around like that, man. Like, It was like, oh, you was doing good. You thought you was gonna beat your previous lap time. Oh, let me spin out for you. Yep. All right. Thank everybody that joined the stream and watched. I'll try to be back on and a little bit later.